Mala to Iris. All men must serve. Faceless men most of all.
A man wears many kits, but serves only the game. In the shadows of football's great houses, one striker has walked paths few dare to tread. This is the story of Álvaro Morata, the many-faced god of modern football. Born in Madrid, Morata entered the white walls of Real's kingdom. Like Arya of Winterfell, he trained quietly, unnoticed, sharpening his skills, not with swords, but with boots. He rose through Castilla and into Real Madrid's first team, crowned with trophies, yet rarely seen as heir to the throne. Morata's potential simmered beneath the surface, but his destiny wasn't always clear. He wasn't yet the shining knight the kingdom was waiting for. Sent to Juventus, like Aya, across the narrow sea, Morata found himself in foreign lands, deadlier but freeing. Exile isn't always punishment, sometimes it's transformation. Under Allegri, he became something sharper, a striker not built to dominate the box, but to haunt the space behind defenders. Agile, ruthless, cold, he was no longer a shadow, he was the blade in it. Then came the reckoning. 2015, Champions League semi-finals, Real Madrid stood in his way, the house that raised him, but Morata showed no mercy. He struck once in Turin, again in Madrid. He did not celebrate. It was not revenge, it was ritual. The boy who once waited on the bench had returned cloaked in a new form and buried his old self with each goal. At Juventus, Morata did not just evolve, he became. In 2017, Álvaro Morata arrived at Chelsea, not as a gamble, but as a record-breaking signing. £60 million, the price of prophecy. He was the chosen one to lead the line. And at first, it worked. Headers looped into the net, fans roared his name, London had a new knight in blue. But the Premier League is no fairy tale. It is war, relentless, ruthless, cold. Soon, the goals dried up, the confidence cracked. What began as a bright start became a slow unraveling. Every miss echoed louder than the last, every look to the bench a silent plea, every headline a dagger. Injuries crept in, the fans turned, social media mocked him, dissected him, broke him down. Morata was no longer a striker, he was a target. He tried to adapt, he tried to change positions, he fought, but it just wasn't enough. The club that once welcomed him now watched him fade into the fog. The many-faced god does not bless all disguises. In London, Morata wore the mask of a hero, but bore the scars of a scapegoat. When a man returns home, it's rarely the same road, and rarely the same man. After the storm of London, Álvaro Morata came back to Spain, but not to be the castle that raised him, not to Real Madrid. No, he crossed enemy lines and joined their fiercest rivals. Atlético Madrid, a house not of glittering white marble, but red iron and fire, where loyalty is earned, where nothing is given, where warriors are made, not crowned. He scored, not with elegance, but with grit. He celebrated, not for the crowd, but for himself, with clenched fists, guttural screams, and eyes that no longer sought permission to belong. In derbies, he stood defiant. Against Barcelona, he struck back. The boy who once played for Madrid had now found purpose in the shadow of its fiercest rivals. He was not perfect, he missed, he stumbled, but this time he stood back up. In an Atlético, Morata didn't find a crown, he found his fire. Morata returned to Juventus. Older, wiser, warier, he scored, he ran, he gave, but the mask no longer fit as it once did. The city welcomed him, but the dream felt faded. The many-faced god is never sentimental. Football, like fate, moves forward, and Morata must again become someone else. He will not be remembered as the GOAT, nor the captain of a dynasty, but Álvaro Morata is something else, a shapeshifter, a survivor, the man who wears many kits and lives to tell the tale. Through triumph and torment, cheers and jeers, he has never stopped becoming, and that is his legacy. In football's great Game of Thrones, many rise, many fall, but only a few wear many faces.